Hi then, guys. This is Robbie here, your robust presenter. We just finished the breakfast show here with the Pursuit of Success on a Tuesday. We have the one and only Maurice Innis from MyMoneyIQ on the show. And we were just speaking because every time after the show, he's always like sharing with me some really powerful nuggets. It's been helping me so much. And he touched on something about growth industries, right?
Yeah.
And mature industries. I just thought I whip my phone out and say, let's just hear what he's got to say about that. So tell us what that means.
Yeah, so growth industries are industries that are still growing. They're industries like your Zooms, your Ubers, your Deliveroos, your Teslas. These are brand new industries that have sort of like sprung up, right? Brand new technologies, brand new platforms, okay? So these industries are very interesting because they tend to be a little bit risky because they're so new, but the potential for growth is very, very real because they're right at the sort of like baby stages.
Infant stages.
Yeah, they're
baby.
at the infant stage. They're at, basically, we're talking about Amazon in 1999. We're talking about, Google in, 2000.
Because if you missed those boats and you
Right.
understood what that means right now,
Correct.
that means, we have another chance.
Yeah.
Right? Because it really is that time.
Yeah.
2021 is that time in terms of EV, electric vehicles, right?
Correct. Yeah, exactly it. So, you got the whole Tesla thing and you got other industries. You got mature industries as well. You got the Mercedes and the BMWs. They are struggling to catch up to the Teslas of this world. And Neo is the equivalent of Tesla in the Far East. So, okay, then you've got the mature industries. So the mature industries are Coca-Cola, McDonald's, Johnson and Johnson, all the large companies you can think of.
They're
large
established.
investment bank, very established, as you say, large investment banks. These ones tend to have slower growth potential, so you won't find yourself making as much profit over the same period of time as the growth industries, the new
unless you were like Warren Buffett, who bought Coca-Cola at like 5p a share. So now he's like, Merry Christmas.
But the good thing about the growth industries is that they tend to pay dividends, whereas the new trendy Deliveroo, Tesla, Netflix, these ones tend not to pay dividends. Yeah, they tend, because they're so new, they need to hold on to their cash in order to grow. So they tend not to pay dividends. But the big established ones, these guys are swimming. They're swimming in it.
In wealth. Yes.
So these guys tend to
reward. Yeah.
Yes.
All right. So that's good to know, because like when the internet boom was happening, and Google was out there and everything like that, I remember I was in Hammersmith, West London College, and I remember going on the computer and looking at how the layout was on Google, and I could just search anything and things would pop up on the screen. I'm like, oh, this is great.
Yeah.
But I didn't have this information that we have now then, because if I did then, I would have surely taken advantage of it. So what you're saying is these new organizations in electric vehicles, keep your eyes open, right? Doing your due diligence, obviously, because not all electric vehicle companies or things in this environment, at this time are created equally, has the same leadership equally, and these are things that we need to look into, right?
You just need to look at things like, just look at revenue, look at how much debt the company's actually carrying, look at the leadership of the company, who is actually heading up the company, and also we mentioned the moat scenario. So some companies are so unique that they're in the industry, they're called a moat. It's like a castle with a moat around it and a drawbridge, and that means that it's an analogy in a stock market that basically means these guys are very unique. Okay, they're very Google. Who else does what Google does? Right? It used to be Yahoo, and there used to be another company, but there is no Google out there. There are Amazon-like companies, but no one's doing it like Amazon. There are Tesla-like companies, no one's doing that like Tesla. There are Apple-like companies, no one's doing that like Apple. So these companies I've just mentioned are in a space of their own. They got a moat. They're very unique in what they do.
Wow.
And even though there are other companies out there that do it, they do it exceptionally well.
Okay, so supposing, how much would a share in Coca-Cola be? Because I would like Coca-Cola to send me dividends.
Yeah.
You know, well, actually, no, I'm not a big fan of Coke anymore. But let's say Amazon. I want Amazon to send me dividends, right? So it's worth looking at how much a share in Amazon would be, isn't it? Because then you would get
Yeah.
dividends out of it, right?
Amazon, do they? I don't know whether Amazon. See,
Yeah,
Amazon,
that guy's just holding on to stuff, isn't it?
Amazon.
Like I keep hearing like he keep holding on to stuff instead of paying staff and taxes and all that kind of stuff.
Well, he's got a divorce to pay for. So.
Oh
well,
my
he's actually
gosh.
paid for the divorce.
Yeah.
Billions.
Yeah, well, I mean, I would think so if you're putting a rocket up into space.
Yeah,
Anyway,
you know.
anyway, this is human things,
But,
right?
Again, companies like Amazon, I don't think they pay dividends. Amazon, Apple, these guys, because if you think about it, they're still relatively new.
Okay.
Even though they've been around for like 20 odd years, coming up to 20 years, some of them 20 years. In a stock market world, you're a baby. You're still a baby. Tesla's like a fetus.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
Tesla Deliveroo.
Yeah, right.
he's
It's like
fetus.
2-week fetus. Like,
Yeah,
hi.
right. But
Yeah.
McDonald's, Coca-Cola, Johnson and Johnson, these companies, these are grown adults. They've been around. You know, some of these banks are around for like 100 years. You know, Morgan Stanley and all that sort of stuff, and Lloyds.
Okay.
They've been around a very long time, and they tend to pay dividends.
Okay, actually, I
So,
was
yeah.
looking into Morgan Stanley. All right, guys, I just thought I'd share this conversation. Something that just kind of sparked a spark in my head. Baby companies and more mature companies, when we're looking at stocks and shares, having those 4 legs on our table for income streams that we have. The more legs we have, the better.
Indeed,
Thank you, Maurice.
Indeed, you're so welcome.
And if you want to hear more from Maurice, where do we go?
We go to MyMoneyIQ.
No,
My
you
Money
said
IQ.
it, you said it wrong. Yeah,
Sorry. Okay. We go to MyMoneyIQ.
MyMoneyIQ.
Indeed.
All right, guys, have a good one. Ciao, ciao.
Ciao, Bella.